Hey there, so today I read something that infuriated me enough that I'm going to do a quick video response to some of this, but I'm going to encourage people to call Hasbro and let them know exactly what the former IDW editor-in-chief has to say about them regarding the Aubrey Sitterson situation. Because you're apparently an idiot. Apparently this guy who went out there and not only said these stupid things about 9/11 and commemoration, but has also gone out and tried to incense and evoke a reaction from the G.I. Joe crowd over and over again. That guy, he was worth backing. The people that complained about that, the people that brought this on and truly took it to the next level, the ones that were there buying products, those people were the bad guy. Those people, you and I, we're idiots in this. But literally, I'm not spinning that or conflating it. That's what this guy says about us. But let's look at this article. We're going to cover a portion of it. We're going to not cover the background. Actually, what I want to do is I want to show you the statements that were here. Now, this was what Aubrey Sitterson did say, so we can have what he said on the screen before we cover this guy's reaction. And remember, the guy that's reacting to it, the person that's saying these things, this was the guy in charge of the company that should have reacted to this appropriately, that should have gone out and told this guy, hey, this is not what we want out there as the face of our company. We should promote something better. But no, that's not the reaction. The guy actually was going to just let it blow over. But not only that, he actually backed him. And he says that we gave him a new book. So they reward this guy with this type of behavior. Anti-consumer rhetoric. And you know how consumers responded? They responded by such low sales that they had to cancel a book. But still within that, what's to blame? Is Aubrey Sitterson? No, Aubrey Sitterson is not to blame. It's the consumer. It's the idiots there. But let's look at this comment. Oh, good. It's self-centered national tragedy remembrance from people who weren't even anywhere New York City Day. Talking about 9/11 there. Unless you were there or lost someone, this is what your social media remembrances look like. I have news for people like this. I woke up that morning and I saw people dying in ways we had never seen. We had never seen anything like it. It still haunts me. I was there because of TV. I was there because I'm an American. It was part of our national psyche at the time. This guy, he makes a comment like that. He makes something that also represents G.I. Joe and IDW within it. But the backlash to that, and there was backlash, and the backlash didn't come because he said something and it just went away. He said something and he doubled down and he kept doubling down. He went to places like Bleeding Cool and they went on his behalf and also doubled down. They tried to paint Hasbro customers as bad guys. It kept spinning that way. So you see this setup. You can actually go in. I have a good video, I think, on that. I cover the Bleeding Cool article that talks about this from a spin perspective. But when you look at the way that Richard Johnston is covering him, what he's saying there, he actually tells you how terrible Aubrey Sitterson is. But anyway, so let's see the reaction from the guy Chris Ryall. Now remember, he is the former IDW editor-in-chief, and you can see why he needs to be the former there. So reading here. Former IDW editor-in-chief Chris Ryall, who recently stepped away from the position after 14 years, confirmed that Aubrey Sitterson's Scarlet Strike Force was canceled because of poor sales. Interestingly enough, Ryall even says he thought about defending Sitterson. Ryall chatted with Comics Beat, and we will cover that. We are definitely going to cover that. This is just my reaction to get this out of my system because I see things like this and they infuriate me. Like I said, this is going to end up being a call to Hasbro. It will not be on this video yet, but there will be a video for it. We are definitely calling Hasbro, but continuing where he addressed the Sitterson situation. The story has gotten spun in such a way that makes us look like the bad guy, and it kills me that that's the case. Now, it looks like he's talking about the company here. It looks like he's going to go out and say, that's not what the company backed. But no, that's not what he's saying. He's actually talking about the way that Aubrey Sitterson was treated. That's the interesting portion of this. Everything here, again, it comes from such a anti-consumer lens. But continuing, because that all came about because somebody said things that companies that I don't own took exception to. But I and a couple of others really staked our jobs on not making a rash decision and having that person removed and keeping the book going and even rewarding that person with a new series. Ultimately, that new series didn't sell. I'm sure there's all kinds of ideas why it didn't sell, but the fact is it didn't sell right away from the start, and so it had to go. But somehow rewarding somebody with a new book and not giving in to these idiots who were trying to put pressure on things got spun to being that we didn't support this person. That, I think, is the thing that hurts, because we did. We supported him, kept his job, gave him a new book, and it killed me that it didn't work. I mean, look at that there. Look at that statement. Did you know you're an idiot there? You were spinning these things. You're idiots that are putting pressure on it. You know, pressure that is deserved within this. If you said this about certain groups out there now, people would create such a firestorm that it would burn through companies. And yet, again, insulting individuals out there that are truly trying to understand something, or trying to work through it, saying if they didn't have direct loss or they weren't cool enough to be there like Aubrey Sitterson, then hey, you don't matter. You are not supposed to be here. You are faking it. I mean, that is such ugly rhetoric, especially when you are promoting G.I. Joe books, one of the most supposedly patriotic brands out there. Although when looking at who has it, I do wonder that. Maybe somebody needs to ask Hasbro what that's supposed to look like too. But finishing this quote, also at times I was going to go out there and try to defend it, trying to say no, you're wrong, and keeping the conversation going and giving a forum for people to say more terrible things just felt like a losing battle. Who exactly is saying terrible things here? See, we need people to challenge this rhetoric here. We need people that are challenging it, and I guess we are challenging it. I think when we get down to it, you and I are challenging it because we are not buying. But beyond that, people need to go in and they need to challenge this stuff when it's said or not said. Because like I've said, the silence there, it speaks volumes. And you see the words that come from that. No wonder we have people out there talking about how they would push that murder button and kill all the GOP members, and then take a nap. No wonder we have people out there like David Barnett who are representing IDW under this guy's watch, but right now, within this current year, that talked about conservatives being the opposite of Parkland shooting victims, aka, in my mind, school shooters. That's the equivalence that we see drawn there. No wonder we have an editor out there that is basically calling tens of thousands of individuals that press the follow button racists, sexists, transphobes, and on. No wonder we hear this stuff, because we see something that's coming right from the top. We see the face of it, and the face of it is also echoing those sentiments. I mean, this stuff, it really infuriates me when I see that. But finishing this statement, my entire time at IDW, I've always approached things as the air is much fresher on the high road. So you think that you took the high road here by saying these things. You are saying literally that the people that reacted to this, the people that Hasbro backed, in my opinion, but IDW apparently did not, you're saying that those people are the low road. You're saying that those people are the ones that added something terrible to this. Man, when you look at that again, IDW does not deserve my money. I had not gone to the point where I had said, I will not buy IDW comic books, but I am not buying anything with a Hasbro license. I encourage you to say the same thing. We will not buy things with a Hasbro license because Hasbro should be making a statement on this. Hasbro needs to remove themselves from this situation, period. And I think really, if they saw the scope of this, if they truly got a feel for the reaction reaction, then they may just do that. Also, somebody needs to forward this on to the Yojo community. They need to let them know that within that reaction, IDW is actually not backing them at all. That play that we saw there with the comics media, all the spin and everything, there was at least some kind of complicit behavior behind the scenes that was given by the people in charge. If you thought that somebody within that was actually backing you, you are terribly mistaken. But you can see the backdrop to this. It's actually fleshed out. There's a lot more that's talked about here, like sales and whatnot. Like I said, it's a good article. It's one that I'll probably touch on when I go through all of the conversation itself. But like I said, this thing, it really infuriates me to see that, and I really felt like I needed to say something on it. But anyhow, I'm going to end here. You know, I've seen Aubrey going out now and spinning this stuff. He's actually out there, like I said, last night, he was talking to somebody from this community. He was telling them how, you know, he comes from this mindset that actually block listing and block botting, that was a reaction to things that he was receiving, all the terrible comments. Like he has been a good guy in this, and like the other people approaching him were the bad guy. You're going to see companies take lumps because of stuff like this, and they need to. They need to definitely have a reaction. They don't deserve your money with this. They are not only framing you as the bad guy, but they're saying that your responses there, that you are the problem. You're the problem out there. You know, they deserve your money, basically, that you need to just sit down, shut up, and ride the back of the bus. Because, you know, artist, I mean, doctor, they wouldn't do this. Nurse, they wouldn't do this. Busboy, they wouldn't do this. But artist, they somehow have license to do so. Anyway, I've talked about this long enough. I think I'm going to jump off of it. Thank you.